Welcome back, anglers. I'm the Survivalist, and we return to Russian Fishing 4. So last weekend, maybe I made a mistake picking up the shovel, maybe I didn't. It's kind of hard to say either way, but I think we're going to just work at trying to recuperate a lot of the silver I spent out last weekend. And to start that, we're probably going to start getting into a regular rhythm for these videos of always checking the cafe orders first and seeing what we need to go after. So, looks like gibble carp might be our big focus. I don't think I'll be able to get roaches of the 1.2 kilograms. It'd be nice to catch the bleaks, but I haven't had a lot of luck there. But I could definitely see about getting a few of these early ones tackled. They're not going to pay out a lot, but at this stage, I think it's just nice to get anything. So let's first see about trying to make something for the gibble carp. Here's the mix. Crackers, porridge, and sunflower oil. So we'll just quickly go make up a little mix like that. I'll probably actually use the shovel at the end of this episode, so then that way I can have the free food, get the food thing filled up, and then it's actually having your food bar at a high level that re-energizes you. Or at least I think that's what the comments were telling me. Yeah, something like that. Right, let's go to ground bait. Okay, so we need the crackers. It was crackers. I can't remember if it was the porridge or it was something else. I feel like it might have been the porridge, but I know it was sunflower oil as the extractant. So let me just go down. Yeah, I'll pick those up, and I'll just quickly do a check before I do make it, so that way I know for sure. It was... okay, it's millet porridge. Okay. Oh, actually, nice cheap, so not too bad getting all that together. Okay, so now we can quickly make that up. Hello! And we are at 1% for making ground bait. Okay, but we've at least got that prepared, so going after those shouldn't be a problem. Now, if I'm trying to remember where we've caught a lot of gibble carp, I think it's been down over in this area. We've had some pretty good success with them. So we'll probably start there. I should check and see... okay, that is our feeder rod. I think it's been the telestick that's... yeah, this is our float setup. I think I will keep the tiny hook on there, just pause. I wonder if I want to catch the bleaks. Maybe I'll actually try going up here. Did I just... okay, I thought I just heard a cow for whatever reason, but I'll try along the north area there, because, I mean, the bleaks would easily be worth more than, I think, like 2 or 3 of the mission's current offerings. Just give me one moment to adjust the lighting for you guys. I do admit this is a little bit of a different time of day for my usual recording, so let me just see about that quickly. There we go. There, let there be light. Okay. Yeah, so let me quickly get us to where we've got to go and follow up along with that. So, past Bear Meadow, I think it's around the Drunk Path is kind of where we could try at. Because it's, yeah, a little further. I don't... you know what, maybe around here's not too bad of a spot. Okay, so let's start with the feeder kit, get that all prepped and ready. Let it load up first. There we are. Okay, so we want the Crucian Gibble mix. And I'm pretty sure I want the wet bread for that. I think that's what's been producing for quite a bit. But just to show I am learning, we can check the records and ratings and see about for... actually, looks like just worms. Okay, what is that yellow dough? Maybe what I'll do is I'll just keep using the bread dough I've got, because, I mean, it's not the same type, it's not the same bait, but it is the sort of same dough, so perhaps that'll work for it. We'll just try it and see how it goes. Let me just do that. There we go, reel it till it jingles. And we'll try with this for a little bit, maybe switch out the cast to the caster, depending on the success or failures we see with it. But yeah, this weekend I don't think it's going to be we're going to look at planning our next big purchase. We'll just keep it slow, try to fulfill the orders we can, and bring in what fish we hopefully see. Considering it is a couple of gibble carp orders and a roach order I can complete, again, it's not going to be a super big thing, but if I can catch the bleaks with some dumb luck, then we might have quite a bit we can cash in on. Or at least it'll be a nice little recompensation for everything I spent. And yeah, I do see slowly but surely our energy is like picking itself back up in the bottom left there. We just gotta wait and see what happens. Oh, there we go. That's something already after that. Now give us something a little more definitive to work at. There we go. Oh, looks like a little roach to start. Actually, I'm surprised at a white bream. I mean, we aren't actually after it. Let me try the caster. I think that's what I was using for the bleaks. But if we're catching like a species like that, which we don't rarely see all that often, maybe it's a good sign we could have some chances, or better odds, at seeing a bleak. That's one thing, too. I should also double check the ratings board. It does show you what, like, the bait was for that species, but I guess you kind of have to go off of, like, multiple catches to see, like, what the commonality is. It also seems like a lot of these species, just the basic worm baits will work, too. Oh, something's really interested in that. Okay, what do we got? Looks like a roach, I think. Yeah, but I think you're actually too small for... we'll go for a little bit more with the caster. Oh. Not sure what happened to it. Almost like skipped off the top of the water there. Yeah, if I just pull in a couple more roaches, I'll switch it out for another bait type. And we'll do a check and see what bait I should be trying with for the tiny hook I've got. You, I kind of thought we might see a little bit more action on. Just because it is the carp mix that it requested. I thought the type of bait on there would be what they'd really like. What do we got? Oh, another roach. That one I can actually use. So we'll toss that back out. Set the rod down. Yeah, just tighten it up a little more. Maybe I'll have to switch out what kind of bait I've got on there for something else. Because one of the things is the float rod sees so much more action. I mean, it's much more definitive to know when to act on the feeder rod. But it does seem like that one... Maybe I'll have to try switching out for another of the bait types I've got. It could be, too, because I'm just using simple wet bread. It's not one of the, like, really highly rated baits possible, like the caster is on this float rod. Yeah, it's getting pulled along. What do we... Ooh, that actually looks like a decent-sized fish. And crucian carp, of all things. Okay. Let me try the pearl barley. We'll try a couple with that, and then if this rod doesn't see anything, I'll just reel it in and change out the bait on it. Because I really thought something would have been, like, a little bit more interested at it. But it might be a little optimistic to think it, but we possibly could hit level 10 this episode, or this weekend. I definitely don't think this episode, because we still have... What is it? A little over 1,000 experience still to earn before we'll hit that point. And you know what? While we're waiting, let me check in the records and ratings. Okay, so for bleak, caster, yeah, sea simple earthworms for those. Okay, the gibble carp, again, was kind of like the does, the crucian carps, bit of a mix. The common... See, it doesn't really look like there's anything too specific. Well, at least for the Chinese sleeper there is. I do have an order for them, so I suppose I could try going for that. So maybe that's what I'll do is when I pull this one back in, is I'll put on the earthworm or whatever that worm is, and see what results we get from there. But nothing at all interested in the feeder rod. Okay, well at least the float rod is seeing some action. Just need something more definitive to go off of. Oh, I thought that would have been it. Okay, well, I'll change that up to... I guess it was just the basic worms. We'll try one cast out with that, see what results, if any, it brings. And you know what? I'm going to reel you in. It's like we should have seen something by now on this. Yeah, get in here, you. You know what? Let's go for the caster and try and see what that'll do with this ground bait on it. There we go. Watch, it could even be just because I stepped up the bait in like a second or two that'll start rattling off that something's interested. We might have something on the float rod. Although one thing I do dislike is it seems like if you do max cast and you pick the float rod up, you kind of wiggle the float a bit, so I don't know if that can like break off anything that's interested or on the hook or not. But there's something. Oh, maybe a perch? Yeah. Just a perch. Okay. Okay, well, again, we'll toss you back in. Just get that tight and ready in case. And keep going and see whatever we can catch. I gotta admit, I'm actually surprised how reactive things are to just the basic worm. I was expecting it to be like a lot slower for action or things actually showing any interest. Well, we are catching fish, which is good. And it looks like another one we can use. Yeah, we'll take that roach, no problem. Oh, that's what's happening. I'm actually casting out so far, there's not enough line, I think, for the float to reach, so it almost like hitches and then drops. Oh, finally something. Although it's not dipped down far enough. I think I want to give it a little bit more time to see if we get anything more as confirmation that there's... Oh boy. Lars. Okay, we've definitely got a sizable fish on this. Oof. You are a fat one. Wow. A 1.322 kilogram eyed. And that was just with the very basic worm. I think I gotta go back to basics for trying to catch these things, because, like, yeah, biggest fish we've seen in the entire series so far, and it was just on a simple worm. Be nice if you actually did something, just so I can say, okay, I'll bring you in, change to basic worm, and toss you back out, but... And that was also on our tiny hook, too. Oh. Okay, well, this looks like a pretty tiny roach. Oh. Actually, I'm not sure if we've caught a chub before. Here I am, trying to use all this fancy baits, but no, all you gotta do is basically toss a line with a worm on it, and you seem to get all kinds of variety. Staring at you, feeder fishing kit. Come on. You know what? Instead of wasting time, I'm just going to bring this in and put a worm on it. I can't argue with the results we've been seeing. Case in point. Okay, well, I'll put you away for now because, yeah, that's showing itself as having something active on it. Maybe... Oh, actually, is that a sleeper? It is, and it's actually the biggest sleeper I've caught yet. And we actually reached level 10. Which gave us the mayfly larva as a bait. Okay. But yeah, let's see. I've still got some time before we'll end this episode off. I'm going to go a little bit further down. And just the very basic worm seems to be the best bait. So we'll keep just working with that on both lines. Thanks to having the shovel, I've also gotten all kinds of them too, so that's no problem. Yeah, come here, you worm. And we'll do super toss out. New longest cast, 20 meters. There we are. And we'll wait and see. Oh, yeah, see, already interest on the floater, or the float kit. Oh, another roach. Oh, this fish qualifies for 5 tasks. Is that something I've opened up because I've hit level 10 now? Huh, I honestly don't know. Oh. Okay, that's the most interest we've had all episode, so... I wonder if it's something where they kind of skewed it so that way for, like, new players only having the first map. The basic worm bait is... Oh, you know what? That is definitely on the move, isn't it? Well, it was to a point. I was going to say, maybe they skewed it so that way the most basic of baits on Mosquito Lake has a little bit more activity seen. Just try to keep players invested or interested more. Yeah, let's bring you in. Yeah, we'll just stay steady with it. I do see our float rod has interest too. Looks like it might be a crucian. Oh, a tench. Okay, was not expecting that. There we go. Okay, so that line is tight, and... Yeah, I have to admit, whatever reason, the worm is the best bait to seem to use to get any fish. Like, maybe selecting certain baits to get more specific you can target. But the worm is producing a lot of fish we've rarely caught in. Like, the roach are common, but the chub, the eye, the sleeper... all pretty good catches. I'll have to just keep remembering that going forward for a couple weekends, I think. Nope. That was... odd behavior. Okay, something's definitely on. Ooh, it's actually a good size, too. Is that a chub or a roach? Another chub. Okay. I'm not going to complain about this. This is interesting to see some of these fish that we've not really caught before. I do kind of wish that they weren't, and we could get the order ones. but you know what? I'd much rather take the variety of the content than just, like, going for the mission stuff too hard. And to be honest, with how we're doing, I'm wondering if I should even just say, forget about using the shovel. We'll just keep fishing out in these reaches, trying with these baits, and see everything we can pull in. Oh. Heard the jingle jangle, but I don't see the rod dipping yet. Oh, is that another sleeper? It is, and decent size, too. So if I can get one more sleeper, I think that's actually one of the orders we have on our slate to try to kill off, or knock off. I'm just going to tighten that up a little bit more. Okay, I kind of want to pull this... I'm going to reel this right in. Because, I don't know, something feels a little weird about how it went. This kind of reminds me of the one... I think it was a bleak we had on it at one time? Or it just seemed like it wasn't actually strong enough to... Yep, I think that's it. We do have a fish on. It's a rough. I thought there was something funny about how the rod was operating. It's like the fish wasn't quite big enough to actually cause the line to do anything, but we saw it slack as if it was like being brought in. Nope. Okay, might have been a little too eager on that. But it is nice to see we are getting some decent results. So we'll give it another minute or two, but I think I am just going to keep out here on the lakeshore and just seeing what all we can keep pulling in. I don't know if we've gotten every species... No, I don't think we've gotten every species of fish we can on Mosquito Lake yet. I think there are some species that might be a bit too big for what our current equipment can handle. We have to have been seeing the majority. Oh, again, I thought that might have been... We've probably seen the majority of species for the lake. There is the winding rivulet, but just because of how it is with, like, the current, I'm kind of wondering if it would be better just to keep focusing on Mosquito Lake. We could use a little bit of a turn, or maybe even a weekend just going over there using the one, like, little inlet or cove spot where there's no current would be something good to work at as well. We'll see. Yeah, I saw a bit of interest here. There hasn't been anything to the feeder rod that makes me think that, again, we've got kind of like the situation we just had with the rough happening. And now all of a sudden it is quiet. Too quiet. Okay. Maybe what we'll do is, after this one, I'll end this first episode. The next episode, we'll go a little bit further down along the shore. Probably try the spot where we were getting all the bleaks the other time. I do wonder if, because we're going back to this worm, maybe we can get lucky. Ah, shoot. Probably should have left it a little longer. Well, let's bring you in, and then we'll end this episode off. I doubt there's anything on this line. I don't think there's any, like, chime or signal to kind of say that something was interested and went for it. Yeah, no, it's coming straight up. Okay, well, at least we had a pretty decent haul for our first episode. 14 fish in, quite a few species. We've never really seen that much before. And it was right around here, I'm pretty sure we were getting the bleaks from. So we'll see how next episode goes. But thank you all very much for joining me on this episode of Russian Fishing 4. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a like. And if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, leave in the comments right down below. And until I do see you in the next video, survivors, well, anglers and survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, and happy angling.